So the reason many people are misdiagnosing themselves as autistic is because they seem to be relating to some traits that they don't understand the root cause of. And I see this a lot because many people are relating to online information that is not relevant to them. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you 5 ways that you are not autistic and what may be going on. Let's check it out. Okay, guys, so there are a lot of people who go online and they look and they find videos like mine or other people who I know in the industry, and they relate to certain things, right? So the bigger picture basically is that the neurodevelopmental condition of autism is a condition from birth. It's neurodevelopmental. That means that it kind of grows with you. And we know that how autism is currently happening within the body is that your brain neurochemistry, how the neurons mend together, is slightly different to that of a typical person, right? And so the overlapping of that have other conditions like, anxiety, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, all these other things that I have. Oh, and by the way, guys, my name is Dan and I have autism and ADHD. If you're new around here and you want to learn more, remember to hit the subscribe button by clicking the notification bell down below so you don't miss out on a video. So with that being said, autism actually can look like other things. And so self-diagnosis has skyrocketed over the years because we put videos out for people. And the reason I do that is because there are many people who were like me, who were diagnosed later on in life as adults, and then they go online to look for information to learn more about it, right? Once you have the diagnosis. Kind of not the other way around. It's not go online, learn how to self-diagnose yourself, and then seek a diagnosis, which is what a lot of people do. And I understand that people do this because they're wanting to understand themselves better, but there may be other things going on. And I'll get into that in a minute. And the other thing to remember is that professionals use multiple tools in a professional environment to make sure that they can accurately diagnose you, that it's not a misdiagnosis, it's not incorrect, and they can give you the right amount of support, medication, or therapy that you need for the condition that you actually have, rather than thinking you've got a different condition, if that makes sense. So understanding all of these variables, which we're going to now, is going to help you actually get the right diagnosis rather than chasing something that's completely irrelevant to you. And I see this happening quite a lot. Okay, so the first thing we need to think about is social anxiety. So in autism, people have a anxiety around socializing situations because, and then this is the really interesting part, you will have social anxiety as an autistic person, but you can have social anxiety as just a typical person, right? Here's a word from today's sponsor. Now, today's sponsor is Trustworthy, and it's more than just an app. Trustworthy is a all online dashboard that helps organize your family. It's kind of like the number one tool, the all-in-one organizer for your family, right? And so it is an app that you can use on your phone, on your tablet, or on your computer, and it's amazing. I find this to be an ADHD godsend, right? So me and my girlfriend are forever forgetting, the trash goes out on this day. It's somebody's birthday, or the kid's insurance for their healthcare runs out on this day. We need to renew this, or my driver's license renews this day, or if you're going somewhere and you forget your ID, you're like, oh goodness, I don't have a digital copy. Well, Trustworthy does all of that for you, all in one. Now, if I show you a screenshot here, basically you can keep all your family IDs on here. You can keep track of all your finances. You can even store your passwords for different things in here. You can also then put in all of your insurance stuff. You've got life insurance, medical insurance, any auto insurance, stuff like that. You can hide legal documents in here so you never lose them, and it's all in one central place, which is completely secure and encrypted. It's absolutely amazing, and I find it absolutely fascinating. Now, if you want to check out Trustworthy, please go to the link in the description down below and check it out. This is an ADHD godsend. It's kind of like organizing everything for you. And it's also got the nickname the family operating system, and it absolutely is just that. So please check out Trustworthy down below. I think it's a godsend, and I know that you're going to get a lot from it. Thank you for sponsoring this video. But why does this exist? Well, in autism, the social anxiety aspect comes from the fact that there are unwritten social conventions and social rules that happen. Etiquette, the way you speak, politeness, standing too close or too far away from somebody, knowing when it's your turn to talk, knowing when people are being bored of you talking, etc., etc. But social anxiety, of just a psychological kind of anxiety disorder, tends to come from a fact of fear that is treatable by therapy, whereas social anxiety in autism isn't treatable because it's part of the neurological and biological chemistry that's going on in that person's body. Now, you can have social anxiety, but it won't be for the same reasons as autism, if that makes sense. So you could be going through the list and be like, oh, I have social anxiety, but that doesn't mean that it's autism, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, conservative personalities and preferences to, routine and stuff like that. Some people prefer stability. A lot of people prefer routines. We're humans and we're creatures of habit, which means that a lot of the time we will repeat the same things. We'll like the same foods, we'll like going to the same bars or clubs, and we keep our friends close and the same ones we have and blah, blah, blah. But those don't really mean that you are autistic or that you have a problem with that issue of like broadening out of that or trying something new. Whereas autism, on the other hand, autistic individuals need structure and routine to navigate through chaos because the world seems very confusing to them. And when they have a structured routine and knowing what comes afterwards, like the predictability platform, then you know that you are safe. It's all about feeling safe. So if you can predict that, okay, I'm going to have the same thing for breakfast every day until I die, then it's safe. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to consume your mind, your thoughts about that. Because autistic individuals are also having input from sensory stimuli in the environment around them just continuously, which is obviously, no good because it's distracting you from focusing on the things that you are having to do in daily life. So when you have like a routine or a conservative personality, that also doesn't mean you're autistic, basically. Okay, so the other one is gifted or high intelligence. Now, so people on the autism spectrum, if they are a level 2 or level 1 autistic, they could have an average to above average intelligence quotient, which means that they are compensating in intellect where they may fail in social or familial situations, right? And familial means like, interacting with your family or knowing kind of social etiquette as a group. And so in terms of that, they then excel in things like maybe technology or art or writing or literature or something, right? And those traits of being highly gifted show where there's a lack of understanding in something else, right? But other typical people can still be gifted and understand social conventions. So you could be like, oh, I'm really intelligent, I must be on the spectrum. But, you could just be intelligent and not be on the spectrum. I mean, when I was doing my degree, so I did chemistry, which is like super nerdy, like super sciencey. There was only maybe 2 other autistic individuals on the course. So the rest were neurotypical, right? And they were super brainy. These kids were like super, super brainy. And so it doesn't mean, it's not an indicator that you're on the autism spectrum. It's just an indicator that you're actually bright. Okay, so the second last one I want to mention is selective mutism. Now, selective mutism is exactly what it means. Like sometimes you're going to be mute and sometimes you want to talk. Now, selective mutism can be a psychological condition where a person is unable to, through trauma, fear, or a post-traumatic stress, they're not able to speak in certain situations, or they refrain from speaking to protect themselves in certain situations. Now, what's interesting about that is in autism, you also have a selective mutism because the person doesn't really know how to, when to, or comfortably talk because they don't understand the rules of the game, and the game being the game of life. Now, someone who's selective mute doesn't necessarily mean they're autistic, but someone who's autistic may be selective mute, So there is a big divide that you could have selective mutism. It doesn't default mean that you're on the autism spectrum. Now, the last one I want to kind of cover is so interesting. In fact, it's the most interesting one, and this happens a lot. A lot of people are diagnosed with ADHD and not autism. And guys, before I go any further, I just want to say I actually have a free PDF book download right now called the Bulletproof Brain Starter Checklist. So if you are interested in building a rock solid, bulletproof, confident mind, if you're autistic or you are having mental health issues, then this book is perfectly for you because it gives you a really simple takeaway that you can apply to your daily life. All you need to do is go to bulletproofbrain.org. The link will be in the description and it will be here in a card on YouTube. So go check it out. The link is also in my bio, or you can just go to bulletproofbrain.org and download the free PDF. And don't forget, put www. in front of bulletproofbrain.org. Start it today, and it's pretty amazing. I've had a lot of good feedback about this free PDF book. Okay, so ADHD, where does it fit in? Now, people who have ADHD sometimes have autism, and sometimes people who have autism don't have ADHD, and sometimes people just have ADHD. Now, ADHD traits can also look very similar to autistic traits. Now, the difference is ADHD is an attention deficit behavioral issue, which is related to the autism spectrum, but it's not autism in its triad of impairment, the social, communication, and emotional aspect. Now, The triad of impairment was something set out by Lorna Wing, who is one of these brilliant minds working on autism research and has been since the 80s. And she has defined kind of like the characteristics and the diagnostic criteria. Hence why a lot of people who say, oh, I feel like I'm autistic, and they'll go to the doctor and they'll get a referral and they'll go through the assessment process. Then they turn out and say, oh no, it's just ADHD, it's not autism. That happens quite a lot. And that will happen often. And this is why sometimes this happens. Now, I want to know where you are in this journey. You think you're autistic? Have you self-diagnosed? Leave me a comment down below, because I want to know, is self-diagnosis, in your opinion, a good thing or a bad thing? Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.